we need to thank you for your extraordinary, skillful way that you have navigated waters that nobody has had to navigate before. I have said a few times in different parts of the world that if there was a Nobel Prize for diplomacy, you should definitely be awarded a Nobel Prize for diplomacy for how you have kept the Arctic Council alive, basically, because that is what has happened. And more than that, I mean, you have been able to maintain this framework in an extraordinary challenging times. So I hope you realize that not only we in the Arctic Circle, but the entire Arctic community is extraordinarily grateful to you personally and the Norwegian colleagues for having navigated this and found innovative ways to solve problems that many people thought couldn't be solved, and untie knots that nobody thought you could do. So now the audience has this opportunity to put some questions to you. I asked before if you could have the lights up a little bit in the hall during the question time. So since I took a number of questions from this side before, let's start here on this side of the hall. If there are some questions you would like to put about the Arctic Council in general, its future, the role of Norway and the other states, as well as, yes. So other, okay, yes, who wants, okay, please. Yes, if you can introduce yourself and put the questions, yeah.
Thank you, and thank you for the presentation. I'm Sian Prow with the Clean Arctic Alliance, and we've met earlier this year. We organised an excellent session, I have to say, this morning on shipping and the impacts of shipping in the Arctic, and particularly on black carbon, and you mentioned the expert group on black carbon and methane. And ambitiously, the Arctic Council set itself a target of reducing black carbon emissions by 25 to 33%, I believe, by next year. I just wondered if you could update us on how progress is going towards achieving that target. Thank you.
I will be speaking tomorrow in a session more specifically. I have more details at my hand. I do not have these numbers in front of me. We are, and what you mentioned now is also that the target we have set is running out, so we need to discuss a new target. Actually, we are discussing this. I had a lengthy conversation with my Russian colleague on Friday, actually, where this was specifically a subject. So just to highlight that this is very much a priority for us. Well, what I have to come back tomorrow in the session, I think it's in the morning frame sometime, where we will speak a little bit more, and I will have what the material produced for me on this issue to give you a little bit more insight into how far we have come in terms of the existing target on black carbon and methane. But this is one extremely critical issue in terms of the future of the Arctic, and it's an issue where, of course, the responsibility is very global and wide. It reaches far beyond the global states. So it's an issue where we also, to a larger degree, need to engage also with our observer states and way beyond. So that was not a way of avoiding the replying, but I simply don't know. But I will provide a better answer tomorrow.
Can I also ask you, since we have a number of representatives from the observer states in the Arctic Council here at this forum and also here now in this audience, how have you dealt with the observer states in these critical times?
It's been challenging because they are so important in providing, in the scientific cooperation and everything, and not having the working groups meeting, many of the projects on hold. there has not been the usual places to interact. We've had separate meetings, which we have arranged virtually as well as in person. We're also thankful for the state observers who have been able to meet in Warsaw under the invitation of the Polish Foreign Ministry, and so on. So we have also in that sense tried to be innovative and creative. What I'm now very happy is that the working groups are gradually starting to meet again. So the observers should now be getting invitations for relevant expert groups, for the working groups, and they can keep informed. But I've also said to all our working groups, make sure that you provide as much information as possible to the observers, especially when new projects are coming up, because we need the observers, their capacity, their knowledge to build into this. So, but it's been a challenge, but trying to address it because they are a very important part of the council family.
If I may follow this up by pressing you a little bit, you can divide the observer states up into two categories. One is the European observer states, Germany, France, Britain, Italy. And then you have the Asian observer states, Korea, Japan, Singapore, India, China. How do you see this moving forward within the Arctic Council? Do you observe any kind of distinction between the active role of the European observer states and the growing role of the Asian observer states? Or?
Well, we don't.
I know diplomatically you don't make a distinction.
No. But we, for us, trying to get as much engagement from the observers as possible, using their capacity and knowledge, that's critical. And so any interest and trying to keep their interest alive, and which for the problem now has been that we have not been at a level where we can get their interest utilized. So, but what we see, and which I'm very pleased about, is of course now we see interest also from countries coming outside of Europe, outside of Asia. Yeah. So it is. But that is a very positive, how can we, and I also want to say, and which we do say to these countries, there are ways to get included in the work we do without being an observer. You can bring a scientist or an institution to a project without must be an observer. So we want to try to see how we can use that, I would say, close to global interest at the moment.
Good. So, do we have any more questions here from the hall? Well, if not, then I know it's not your responsibility, but in about a year's time, the Kingdom of Denmark will take over on the basis of the rotating chair of the Arctic Council. So what advice would you give the Kingdom of Denmark? Because I am assuming that the geopolitical climate will not have changed in such a way that they will have an easier ride than you will.
Well, we are very happy to already be in close dialogue with them, and of course, everything we can give of assistance which they require, we will give. My advice on a personal basis, because 1 year ago I was maybe expecting more to happen faster, and I was a little impatient. Yeah. So these past 6 months especially, I learned be patient. And if you are patient enough, and if you are determined enough, good things will start to happen. But don't push it too hard, because so that kind of balancing. But they are capable diplomats, so they will figure this out perfectly, I think. So that's no worries.
Yeah, but even capable diplomats need some help, yes. Yes. Well, it's been a great story. I hope in the future you will write this down. The Arctic Circle Journal will be happy to publish your piece as soon as you have finished. You don't have to wait for a long time to publish it. Because I think, given the challenge we have in Arctic science, global science, in a way, that's why we have a session on science diplomacy here. Your personal experience and insights are extraordinarily valuable as we move forward in these testing times. So thank you very much for your effort. I hope you stay the course, and we will be eager to learn from your wisdom and experience in many years to come. Thank you.